All right,
All
we're
right.
live. We've done it.
Nice. I see that link. Let me just share it to our
All
shameless
right.
advertising.
Yeah, so shameless.
Yep. All right. Discord, that is done.
All right. Yeah, I see it.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Um, Notes. We gotta do the chess.com club, of course. Good old chess.com club.
It's where it all started, after all.
It's true, yeah.
Not a very likely place, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, it was chess.com club before Discord. And let's go ahead and I'm just opening on my phone so I can read chat.
All
Oh,
right.
no super chatter yet. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it's been a minute and a half. Come on. Where is everybody?
No. Well,
Uh,
shall
we'll
we
have to
start?
carry on all alone. Yeah, we got this. We shall get going.
Totally
Ready when you
got
are.
this. All
Oh
right.
yes.
3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone to another episode of Football for Fun. I am Depressed, the Texans fan.
I am delusional, the Panthers fan. Welcome on in, everybody.
Welcome to the show. I hope you're having a good day. At this time yesterday, well, really this time 2 days ago, we didn't really have any topics to sort of talk about. It was like, the best we were getting would be like rumors and just like draft buzz and things like that. But then all of a sudden, at a certain point yesterday, bang, bang, just like that, we got NFL news.
Yeah, we had these two bombs happen just within, I think, 30 minutes of each other. It was crazy. Well, not that crazy. It was actually kind of predictable. We're going to start
Hmm.
off talking about the Stefon Diggs signing. He went to New England. I think it was for 23 million a year. Not too much is guaranteed. It seemed like a reasonable amount of money if he is going to be starting in week 1, which it sounds like he's recovered pretty quickly from his injury. So New England expects him to be healthy week 1. Um, he's easily the top receiver in New England, right? I mean, we were talking about this not too long ago. Who else does New England have, right? I mean, their running back might be their next best target, honestly. Um, I mean,
It's a bunch of like
with respect to
Kendrick
those
Bourne.
receivers, I'm sorry.
Uh huh. Right. It's still Ramondre, right? They're running back.
Yeah, they've got Ramondre, and I wouldn't be surprised if they added to that room in the draft, maybe with a second day pick.
Hmm.
So I don't know, but they signed Stefon Diggs. He's their wide receiver 1. He's gonna help out Drake May a good bit, you would think. I like it for them. I've talked about how it feels like a weird move, just because it was like you said. We kind of have this idea that the Patriots don't really make moves like this, and these personalities don't usually mesh with the Patriots. But that's because we've witnessed the Patriots under Bill Belichick for so long. Maybe times are changing, and they're willing to make these moves now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I do probably agree. I'm not sure I love the move. I think it's all right, but I don't think it's necessarily gonna like take the Pats over the hump. But kind of on your other point about being like, like normally this is something the Pats wouldn't do. Like Bill Belichick in like a million years would have never touched, like a player like Stephon Diggs. Like not like the talent, but just with all the like personality and like older and things like that. And if somehow, the Pats got away with signing him, he just immediately cut him like the next day. Like, nope, you don't belong here. So it is something that the Pats have historically like almost never done. Besides like maybe Randy Moss, which is obviously a different,
Yeah,
context.
one of
But
the greatest receivers ever, of course.
yeah, right. And like, he was like, well, I think before that he was like, like I don't know the exact historical context, but he wasn't really a greatest receiver until he got to the Pats. It was traded for relatively cheap. Like, I think he was traded for a fourth, and like, basically it paid off very well. But what I'm trying to say is that so things could be changing with Vrabel. I do think a lot of people have a misconception that like Vrabel is a Belichick disciple, like, Brian Flores, Bill O'Brien, Josh McDaniels. And while that's partly true, remember, he never coached for Bill Belichick. He played for Bill Belichick, but he never coached for him. His coaching tree is Urban Meyer. He worked for Urban Meyer, right? And then Bill O'Brien, and then he was the head coach. So, all that to say, Mike Vrabel is technically not a Bill Belichick guy in the context of coaching. Although I think you can definitely make the argument that he would have taken a lot from playing for Bill Belichick.
Oh, for
But
sure.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is that this isn't really a Belichickian society anymore. It is the 2025 New England Patriots are Vrabel's team, Vrabel's offense, Vrabel's philosophy. I still thought it was a little bit weird because I would have thought that, like Vrabel, I mean, independent from the Bill Belichick sort of thought process, I always felt like he was like defense first, run game first, things like that. Felt like he never. Well, I guess he did have AJ Brown in Philadelphia, not Philadelphia, in Tennessee. It's easy to
Yeah,
forget
he.
that
I don't think
AJ
he was the
Brown.
one who wanted to trade AJ Brown either. Just for the record. Uh, but yeah,
No,
to
I
your
think
point.
that's a very fair point. No, I don't think he did at all. I think it was just who the GM being dumb. Didn't the GM
Yeah.
like? So I think they played AJ Brown. AJ Brown torched them, and then the GM got fired. John Robinson, I think. Does that sound right?
I don't remember the guy's name, but yeah, he got fired that same week after AJ Brown went off on them. It was great.
Hmm. Right. So yeah, I mean Vrabel, he has his own, just kind of like coaching style of picking up personnel. I do think, you know, well, you don't necessarily know. I'm just saying that because I tend to say a lot as like a filler word, and I'm
Right. No,
trying
I got
to
you.
sort of work on that. But anyway, what I was trying to say is I think the internet every time Stephon Diggs when he signs with us, when he signs with the Patriots, it's like, oh, he's gonna be a crybaby and be throwing a tantrum at Drake May by week 3 or something like that. And like maybe that's true, but that narrative is already getting old. Like, right? 'Cause it was like 2 or 3 years ago since that was last a problem with Josh Allen. So
Yeah.
now part of it from last year could have been he was hurt half the season, so he didn't really have the opportunities to. But I don't necessarily know. I might be more concerned about his injury than I would his attitude.
That's
Um,
definitely fair.
but yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think it seems like a pretty decent move by the Patriots. A little bit weird, but I think it could work out. Um, I don't necessarily think the Patriots are going to the promised land because of that, but May has a good wide receiver one. So
I
yeah,
think
there
that
you
they
go.
are going to be a sneaky good team. Like I think you've been saying that too before the signing. I think they're a team we could see, in the playoff hunt at least near the end of the year. Um, I agree. I don't think this is like a super big move that's going to bring them a Super Bowl year one or not year one, year 2 or 3 under Drake May. But I do think this
Hmm.
could be a move that unlocks Drake May's potential and helps him develop. Sort of like how, at the same time Diggs arrived in Buffalo, Josh Allen, that was his breakout year, right? Um, I think he
Mm-hmm.
probably would break out regardless. It just might not have been quite to the same extent, but we could be
Yeah,
seeing something similar in New England. This could be a move that helps them
yeah,
become a
for
playoff
sure.
contender for years to come. I don't know if that means immediately or if it means they're ever a real threat to win the Super Bowl, but I think this is a smart move that the team needed to make if they're going to have any chance at success under Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
What I think
Yeah,
becomes
for sure.
interesting is what New England will do in the draft because they've got the fourth overall pick, and I think it's the fourth overall pick. Are they going to go tackle? Are they gonna double dip and add another receiver to the offense? I mean, what do you think?
It does seem like so. I think something like tackle or like now. I guess the assumption is that Abdul Carter won't be there. Maybe is
That
this a
depends
Travis
on what you
Hunter?
think Cleveland is going to do. Because some people say
Yeah,
they'll take
they
Carter,
have the
some
fourth
people say
pick. You said.
quarterback. Yeah, Cleveland's got
Yeah, you
two,
have the fourth
and then
pick.
New York at 3, and then the Patriots at 4. So you can expect two quarterbacks gone, and either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter should be available at 4. But I wonder if they're gonna go defense at
That's
all with that pick because they've spent the entire offseason, building up the defense. They should be looking to add offensive talent in the draft, you would think.
yeah, you would think. But it could also be a situation like you just take best player available, and if it's a defensive player, unless you're making Travis Hunter play receiver, but I assume he's going to be a corner. I feel like that's the reporting, right? That he's going to prioritize
That's
corner, or what?
I've heard that more than others. I think I've heard he'll mostly play corner, but he can come in on plays to help out at wide receiver as well.
Yeah, like
That
maybe
that could be
third
what they
down or
want.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, move
Yeah,
the
that makes
chains.
sense. So yeah. So that could be a possibility. I would say though about the whole receiver thing, independent from Travis Hunter, because that would be different. But never feels like in this day and age, receiver goes as high as 4. You know, unless they're generational, which I don't think that's even happened recently. Like the only pass catcher I can really think of who went this high recently is Kyle Pitts
What
at
about
4, I think.
Malik Neighbors? He went 6th last year, right?
Oh, there. Yeah. No, you're
I'm trying to
right. He
remember
did.
if
Oh
that
yeah,
was that.
Marvin Harrison went before him. Okay, I'm. Yeah, I did forget
But yeah,
that.
these guys were considered can't miss prospects, right?
Yeah, they were like generational. It does seem like in a draft class, again, most draft classes like this, for instance, like receivers wouldn't go until like 10, 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah, in this draft class,
Um,
there's no generational talent unless you think guy from Arizona, T Mac, is going to be that good. I call him T Mac because I don't actually have any idea how to say his first name. So, but
yeah,
he's supposedly wide receiver 1. But he's
yeah,
also
right.
being mocked to fall to pick 20 or something like that. So it's just not as talented of a draft as you want if you're looking for receivers.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. So I'd say like Patriots, I mean, they probably won't use their 4th overall pick on a receiver. It wouldn't shock me that though they've used their 2nd or 3rd round pick on a receiver, even though they have Stephon Diggs, just like get what could hopefully be a solid wide receiver 2 in like the 2nd or 3rd round. Because I do think even with this signing, like they shouldn't stop looking at like other options. I saw some other random report. I don't know how useful he would be, but like they're still interested in Tyler Lockett apparently, which would be cool. Then suddenly Drake May has 2 veteran weapons who are supposedly good.
That would
So
make sense.
that
They
could,
should do that.
yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, it seems like that's actually really. I actually haven't really thought much about it. Like the Patriots at 4, that's really interesting because right, presumably Shadur and Cam. Well, I guess not in that order necessarily, but they presumably go 1 and 2 or 1 and then
1 and 3.
3.
Yeah.
Right, Abdul Carter will be gone, and so or sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So it will either be Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter potentially,
Probably.
unless they
See, that's
really
that's what
are
all
in
the
love with
mock drafts have
Bell.
said, but I get the feeling they're gonna do something. Well, something the Bill Belichick Patriots would do and just draft a tackle at a high pick
Like a
instead.
tackle, yeah,
And I know
yeah,
I
that would
know
make
we have
sense.
to move forward because this is Mike Vrabel's team now, right? Um, but it just
Well,
feels
yeah,
like
but
that's the move they're
still,
gonna
like that
make.
logic could apply. Yeah, they could very well do that. I mean, Vrabel, no, well, he wasn't a no line, he was a linebacker, but but I could see that school of thought for sure.
I mean, it's a pressing need, and they're gonna have their chance to take the best one available. So I feel like that's what they're gonna do. But I don't know because everyone else is saying otherwise. So I'm more curious than I should be about the Patriots pick. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean it is pretty interesting because that'll be kind of the first like kind of non quarterback range. I would think so. Tankathon. I'm just pulling up Tankathon because it has the order. So Tennessee, Cleveland, New York, New England, Jacksonville. They're not going to take anyone. Las Vegas shouldn't take anyone. And then and then by then like Shadur and Cam are gone anyway. So like it's not like the Jets should be reaching for a Jackson Dart or anything like that. That would be not a
Oh,
good
could you? That
idea.
would be so funny though.
That would
They
be
would get they would
such a
get made fun
Jets.
of. It would. That
They'd be memed. For real, for real.
this year's
Um,
Falcons pick, although it would be much worse because the Falcons only really took hate for that because they had Kirk Cousins, but still, it would be really funny.
Yeah, by the way, honestly, I'll say all this like draft talk has got me thinking like if we have time later, like after we talk about other topics, I'm down for an impromptu like mock draft if you want to do it. I don't know if you would need to like set up or anything like that, but we could do, or we can just do another episode.
Yeah, we might need to save
Because
that
now
because
I'm,
I got nothing set up for that. It'd be a
yeah,
struggle.
I have zero. I've done zero research on like the prospects not named like Shador Sanders, Cam Ward, Ashton Genty, Abdul
Yeah,
Carter.
I'll give you some
That's just
time to do some research because I've got a decent idea of how the top 10 will play out. After that, I have no clue.
yes. Great. So I think that's mainly it as far as like digs goes. Any other interesting angles?
No, I think that's just about everything. Diggs went to the Patriots. He should improve the team. He's going to help Drake May. Deal seemed fair, and that's about it.
Right. So nice. Which segues, although I say that there's not really a segue to be, necessarily, but let's talk about Russell Wilson. The other news of the day, Russell Wilson has signed with the Giants on a 1-year deal. I forget the number. Is it like 14 that could be 21 or something like that? Or I forget the exact
It's
numbers, but
something like that. Um, see if I
Russell
can find
Wilson,
it.
1-year deal. Woohoo. Signed with the New York Giants. Will have amazing chemistry with Malik Neighbors. Is going to be in a elite quarterback room with Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito and himself. That'll be fun. And potentially Shador Sanders, if they go
Man,
that route.
that quarterback room is going to be so legendary. I saw someone say that the conversations need to be, recorded between Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, and to a lesser extent Tommy DeVito. Like it's going to be awesome. Mostly Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
I would listen to
sure.
any conversation with him. And
Right.
I've got the contract details. I pulled them up real quick. It's a 1 year,
Mhm.
10.5 million guaranteed with a chance to earn 21 million. So
Sorry, what was
pretty
the original
reasonable.
number? What was the main number?
Well, 10.5 guaranteed.
10.5 with potential to go 21.
Yeah.
I wonder what the incentive for that is. Is it like make AFC Championship and or something like that? Like that, it's got to be pretty like steep to like double your salary.
I mean, it's also the Giants, so they might just be like, "Hey, if you bring us to the playoffs, we're happy with what you've done here."
Oh yeah, I meant NFC Championship. I forgot he
No, you're
switched
good.
conferences. Yeah, but that's understandable. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's not a lot for what could be a productive quarterback, but I think one of the main questions that is going to come out, there's kind of like two potential domino effects. One is that Rodgers really is zeroed in, should be zeroed in on the Steelers, unless he has some fantasy of the Vikings, just coming down from heaven being like, Rodgers, save us. Um, so Rodgers should be going to the Steelers. He should be, especially after this. But also, what do the Giants do at 3? If Shador or Cam Ward, probably Shador, if Shador is available, should they just draft him? Should they, what just pick up someone and ride it with Russ? What do they do?
Oh man, it gets really interesting for sure. I will say I do think I've changed my stance. I've said for a while I think the Giants are going to trade up for Cam Ward. I think at this point there's no sense in doing that when you've got Russ and Jameis on the roster now. I don't think you're going to trade up and give up a lot to go get him. And also with reports coming out that they seem to like Shador as well and they're okay with him. I think what's going to happen is the Titans are going to stay put at 1 and take Cam Ward. What Cleveland does is a big factor in all of this because I don't think New York is going to trade up for a quarterback anymore. I don't. I think things have changed. So if Cleveland decides not to take Shador, then I do think the Giants will take him at 3. I don't think if they like him and they think he can be the face of the franchise, the quarterback of the future, how do you pass up on that? That probably means poor Tommy DeVito would be cut, but I mean, someone has to be the odd man out,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Right. That would be the sad thing. Like Tommy DeVito would, yeah, he'd probably be cut. So unfortunately, that whole quarterback room wouldn't necessarily. But yeah, you still have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Shador Sanders, which
That's
no
still so
sneaky.
good. It's such a great
That'd be
room.
very, especially if Shador has his like dad talking and everything. Like that would be like really
Oh
interesting.
gosh. I mean, which quarterback is gonna make the most headlines, the most memes? I have no idea.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I saw a lot of memes. It was like the Giants locker room is gonna be like church now because Russell Wilson's Christian and like Jameis often speaks about God and things like that. So which is just kind of funny. But um, I do agree with you on that take. I think that I don't think Russell Wilson signing with the Giants necessarily affects their potential to draft a quarterback in the first round. Now, obviously, if Shador and Cam Ward go 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, not necessarily in that order, but obviously if they go 1 and 2, they really shouldn't draft a quarterback at 3. I wouldn't think.
No, absolutely
It's just
not. No.
best player available, and then just like just ride it out with Russ and Jameis and Tommy. At least Tommy can potentially say, but yeah, if he's available, like
But that's the
if
big
Cleveland
question though,
decides,
is he gonna be there? What is Cleveland gonna do? Because
right.
they need a quarterback and they haven't made any moves. Also, they're running out of
Yeah, I kind
moves
of
that they can
wonder
make.
like if we're overthinking it and Cleveland's just gonna take Shador, like
See, everyone
because they
seems
need
to
a
have
quarterback.
them not taking Shador. A lot of the mock drafts I've seen have them taking Abdul Carter. I don't really understand why. I don't think that's even much of a need for them. I mean,
I
great
wonder if
player,
there's
but
just like some influence with like the potential, like or the rumored potential for Shador's dad to like pull a Eli Manning, like we're not going to Cleveland. Now I don't think he has the stardom to do that. Like
yeah,
Shador Sanders,
he's not good enough.
respectfully, he's not Eli Manning or John Elway.
Maybe
They're the only
someday
two
he will
guys.
be, but right now that's not a discussion that we need to have.
Nah, yeah,
It's not.
especially not John
No.
Elway. I mean, I guess Eli, you could argue how good he was in the NFL, but he's not he's not that. I mean, the Hunter, not Hunter, Sanders. Yeah, the Sanders family is not going to be as powerful as like the Manning family, I wouldn't think. So
Right.
I don't think it does seem like every year we think of like, oh, the top prospect, Joe Burrow's gonna say no to the Bengals, like Trevor Lawrence is gonna say no to the Jet, whatever. But it just doesn't happen. Like get drafted
Oh.
and just play for them. So I mean, yeah, if Cleveland needs a quarterback and they think that Shador is gonna be good, then they should just draft Shador. Like,
Yeah,
are
I
you
mean, what else do
seriously
they
gonna
have at quarterback, right? I mean,
yeah, are you seriously just gonna roll with Kenny Pickett and just hope he's decent?
I think he's their
I mean,
unquestioned QB1 right now, isn't he? Like, it's him and an injured
yeah,
Deshaun Watson.
maybe they really, really like Kenny Pickett. Like, oh my God, we loved him out of the draft. We're so honored to have this chance, but likely not. I mean, there's tape of him. He wasn't really that good. So yeah, they need even if you like start Kenny Pickett like as like a bridge player for like a week or two, and then like
Yeah,
or like
that'd be fine.
several weeks depending. Yeah, yeah, but you do need someone like it would be weird for Kenny Pickett to be a starting quarterback in 2025.
No, I
Like
will
week one
say,
starter, or I guess not.
yeah,
Well, it wouldn't be weird in the context of like a bridge, like your guy as your guy. It'd be
right.
weird.
Yeah, if he's who you're placing your hope in for the future, that's a huge mistake. That's no.
I
I was
mean,
gonna say though,
but
I've been outspoken against the draft class, and I like next year's draft class better. So I do think if they end up taking a defensive player and just wait till next year to get a quarterback, I'm okay with that if that's the plan. I just can't imagine that with Stefanski, head coach there. I don't think he is up for that. Can't imagine the GM is up for that. They don't. I don't think they're a team that believes they need to wait that long to compete. I think they're a team that believes they can get a quarterback and they're not that far away from playoff contention. I mean, they were just there a couple years ago with Joe Flacco.
yeah. Oh, you're absolutely right, and I think I have. Sorry, I'm pulling something up. I'm just pulling up their depth chart so I can reference it, like in case there's a quarterback. So it's yeah, Deshaun, which they list Deshaun as a starter, which is funny, but obviously I don't think that's going to happen.
He's a little bit
That's
too
Kenny
injured for
Pickett,
that.
and that's a little too injured, a little also just kind of sucks at football. But yeah, no, I was saying that in the past too, which is we think that Cleveland as this like dumpster fire, the 0-16 team they were in like 2016 or 17 or whatever, or like they're never gonna be good. Like we do forget that they were in the playoffs like 2 years ago. Well, technically like a year ago, really, because the playoff game happened like just a little over a year ago. Um, and it's not like I know they've lost some players, but I imagine a lot of the same team is still there. It's just they had a bad quarterback, and I guess they lost Amari Cooper. Nick Chubb got hurt, or did he get hurt last year? Was it this year or last year? I'm
2 years. He came
forgetting.
back last year and wasn't effective.
Right. Okay, so he was hurt during their playoff run, so he doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have an impact. But I mean, you kind of see what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, they've lost some key
they're
players, but I don't think they're that important. Like they can replace that production a lot more easily than fans would be quick to say.
right. No, it's not like they lost like Peyton Manning or something like that, or like Calvin Johnson. Like, no, they lost like Amari Cooper. I've lost like Zadarius Smith or something like that. But I mean, they recently Myles Garrett, and yeah, it seems like it could be decent. Devon, what's up? How's it going, my man?
So one thing I have seen as a floated idea is that they're gonna take the best player available, which would be Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, whoever they feel like they need the most, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then trade for Kirk Cousins. That's something I've seen
Yeah,
floated around, and I could see that if they want Kirk. There's some risk there, of course, because coming off a rough injury, and he's not getting any younger. But like we've said, they should believe their quarterback away from at least being a playoff team. So maybe getting Kirk Cousins would make sense, and then maybe you draft a quarterback in the second round. That's you target
yeah,
Jackson Dart in the second round, Jalen Milrow
yeah.
if you
There you
dare.
go. Right. Jalen Miller was drafted by them and then failed. That would be the most Cleveland Browns thing. I don't even know why. I don't even know if that's necessarily true, but um,
Drafting him in the
yeah. But what
first
I
round
would
and he
say,
fails would be very Cleveland, historically at least.
that would be so Cleveland, right? Um, but yes, I was gonna respond to that, mostly agreeing, but I totally forgot. Oh yeah, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
No, definitely. Yeah, I think that definitely the rumors have been floated. I mean, that's why like the whole Dak thing became a rumor, which I don't think Dak is going to be traded to Cleveland. There's
where
something
did
that
did that
floated out
even come
today.
from
Like,
anywhere other than the NFL rumors account?
yeah, I googled the guy, some random reporter or something like that, like for broadcaster, something like that. It wasn't anything reputable, I don't think.
I mean, I've
But
not heard it from any good
something
sources.
something for all we know could have been a Reddit post like Dak to the Browns as a potential possibility, but
It really would. It'd
that
be
would
so funny if that
be
happened.
absolutely, yeah,
Let it
that'd be
be,
hilarious.
please. Both franchises just
But
self-destruct if that happens.
right, yeah, exactly. But Kirk Cousins does make sense if they can work out a trade package. Um, I think that's the same reason why like Carson Wentz was being floated. I don't know, like Carson. Now he's not nearly as good as like Dak or Kirk Cousins, but the
Right.
Browns need someone at quarterback. I mean, I guess it could be Kenny Pickett, but that
They
seems
at least need to
unlikely.
bring a veteran in, or I guess a rookie quarterback to compete with Kenny Pickett. He should not be the unquestioned starter going into the season. Terrible idea.
All when all's said and done, they'll settle for Ryan Tannehill.
I feel like he would be an upgrade over Kenny Pickett. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care that he didn't play last year. Give me Ryan Tannehill over Kenny Pickett.
I mean, at least they can compete, and you can kind of see who's better. And for some
Yeah.
reason, somehow Kenny Pickett wins the job, and they just have a solid backup at least. Um,
Honestly, how does Ryan
but
Tannehill not have a job in the league right now? He was not bad. Like, he was a decent
I don't
starter.
know. He just like sat out the year. I mean, he's not like that. I mean, he's 36. That's old, but he's not like
I thought he was a little
42.
bit
Like
younger, actually. My bad.
yeah, I think he is a little. Oh yeah, he'll be 37 in July, so he's pretty old, but like he's not 40. I think that's another thing we like Russell Wilson that I was kind of realizing is that we tend to think that Russell Wilson's year by year, and I guess he technically is based on these 1-year contracts. Russell Wilson's only 36. I think for, context, Rodgers is what, 40, 41?
Yeah.
So I know like Rodgers way better than Russell Wilson, but theoretically Russell Wilson has a few more years. I was gonna say like good years, but I don't even know if you can count on them to be good. But
I feel like he's just mediocre at
theoretically,
this point.
yeah, he's probably just gonna get a bunch more like bridge deals. Like next year, he's gonna be the bridge quarterback for like the Browns, and then like he'll like when Stafford retires, he's gonna go to LA for years. Just stuff like that's gonna happen.
That'll be fun.
Oh, Stafford's not that. Matthew Stafford. Stafford's also 37. So
I think he probably will
not,
retire soon, though. I don't think he's got a whole
yeah,
lot
I think
left.
Stafford like tends to take like more hits and things like that.
Yeah,
Like kind
with
of plays a
his
little bit
all
more.
his time in Detroit definitely factors into that. But also,
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
what more does he have to accomplish at this point? He's gonna run it back with the Rams, and then, I mean, I get the feeling
Yeah,
he
for sure.
only wants 1 or 2 more seasons. I have no source
Yeah,
on
with
that. I have
Stafford,
no
I kind of
credibility. That's just my guess. That's just the feeling I get.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So speaking of old quarterbacks,
Aaron
who are
Rodgers.
still available, yeah, I mean,
Whew.
all signs seem to point to him signing with the Steelers.
Okay,
Speaking of another team who technically doesn't have a good quarterback on their roster,
so I'm gonna
because
maintain my stance that I am okay with him taking his time because this is a big decision for the guy to make. But at this point, what are you waiting for? It's the Steelers, or you hope for the Vikings, which is not. It doesn't feel realistic. Oh, watch, he's gonna go to the Vikings anyway. Um, but the Steelers are a perfectly good option if you believe you're capable of leading a team. The surrounding roster in Pittsburgh is very good. Why would you look at that and not want to go there? He just really likes Minnesota. That's
yes,
the only thing I can
it's
think of that
literally
would hold this off.
it's literally either Pittsburgh, which makes sense, Minnesota, which at this point's a fantasy, or like Tennessee or Cleveland.
Right. And
At that
I
point,
feel like
like
neither of those teams want him.
I was actually gonna say that, like, would you want Rodgers if you can just like you're just gonna draft someone? I mean, I guess
I,
if you like have both, that could work. If you're fine with benching Rodgers at some point, I'm sure.
I feel
I'm
like
sure Rodgers
Cleveland would
wouldn't be
actually
happy.
make more sense than we give credit for. Like, if they think that they're not that far off in playoff contention and a quarterback makes a big difference, that would make sense. But no one's really talked about
Right.
that a whole lot. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I just think
I
like,
can't imagine he wants to go to Cleveland though. You know, what
no, yeah,
legendary quarterback
Rodgers.
is going to go to Cleveland?
Right, exactly. I think that's why it's not really talked about as much. Just like, why would Aaron do that, right?
Right.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I I mean, it feels likely he's going to go to the Steelers. For their sake, I hope that he goes to the Steelers because Russ is gone. Right. He's a giant. What do the Steelers do if they don't get Aaron Rodgers? What becomes the plan? Do they trade for Kirk Cousins? I mean, I don't think that's a bad
Mm,
alternative, but you have to give up more to get Kirk than you would to Rodgers for a year. So I don't know that that's the most
right.
ideal
I mean,
scenario. Do you get Joe Flacco?
apparently it's just Mason Rudolph, right?
Yeah, right now Mason Rudolph would be the starter.
Right. I think they have Skylar Thompson on the roster too. Yeah, Skylar Thompson, playoff quarterback, who has started a playoff game.
I mean, good
Um,
backup to have, I guess.
yeah, solid backup, essentially third string, depending on what else they do. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't think you can. I mean, Kenny Pickett, while that would be like ridiculous, it's more understandable for the Browns to go into a season starting Kenny Pickett and would be for the Steelers go into a season starting Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
Like
because the
going to
Steelers
a season
actually
starting
are a
Mason Rudolph,
playoff team outside the quarterback position. They,
no, yeah, and if you start Mason Rudolph, like you're basically tanking. Like you might as well be tanking, right?
except
So,
they can't do that. They're gonna go 9-8 and lose the first round of the playoffs again.
Yeah, watch Mason Rudolph find a way. Oh, Mason Rudolph's career record. Wait, how is he? His career record's 9-8-1. Has he had a good? He had a good win-loss record in 2019. Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger got hurt, I think, that season.
Mm.
They still, did pretty good. But yeah, so he played like 8 games in 2019. 2020 started a game. 2021 started one game, which was a tie. And he was 3-0 in 23, and then not as good with the Titans.
Which makes sense.
I remember thinking last year, like maybe Mason Rudolph isn't as bad as we think. Because his win-loss record was always solid, and like his stats were like not horrible, but
I
I
think
guess
he's
you
a
watch
good
him play,
backup.
and
That's what I think. He's a good
yeah,
backup.
he's a solid backup. I don't think he's should be anyone's starter, but he's a solid backup. Like he's not some like practice squad player or anything like that.
Yeah, but
But
you
all
could
that to
put him
say,
in and start him all season in Pittsburgh, and it wouldn't surprise anyone if they went 9-8, just because the roster is good and he's a solid player. Like it would be fine. They're just not gonna go into the playoffs and expect to succeed.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, all that to say, if Rodgers doesn't sign with the Steelers, like his fantasy comes true and he goes to the Vikings or he retires or something, like they shouldn't start Mason Rudolph. At the very least, they should like try to draft like Jackson Dart or something.
So
Like,
the
which obviously
belief
the
is that
draft,
they're gonna get Rodgers, and then they're gonna try to draft Jackson Dart. Like he's been linked to the Steelers for a little bit now, which I think that would be a good way to do things. That's the best case scenario for them. They draft Rodgers, or if they sign Rodgers, they draft Dart, and then he sits behind Rodgers for a year, and then Dart takes over. I think that would be great. That's how you're supposed to develop rookie quarterbacks.
then yeah, that's perfect because then like you don't have to answer the like what if Rodgers after a year or two he retires. Then they're just gonna have the same situation. So they
Right.
should draft someone. I agree. Who's below Dart? Like, would the next guy like if he gets taken in this like before they can pick? Is it like Jalen Milrow or
I
like
think it
what?
would be reportedly it would be Milrow, which he can
Hmm.
run. That's about it. I
Justin
mean,
Fields can also run.
you'd rather have Justin Fields. At least he can throw too. I mean, okay, Milrow has potential. You gotta give him that. But you watched him at Alabama last year. If you just took away Alabama's run game, that was how they got upset a few times during that season. Like you took away the run and you forced Milrow to throw, and it was just awful. I don't know if it was scheme, coaching.
Right.
It wasn't lack of playmakers. They had Ryan Williams, and he's phenomenal. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like the quarterback you want to draft. Definitely a project.
Right. For sure. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, still some questions to be answered. What will the Browns do at quarterback? What will the Steelers do at quarterback? Um, if Shador is there at 3, will the Giants take him? I mean, probably at this point. Like, I think that would probably happen. But yeah, good stuff. A lot of questions still to be answered.
So let's get some predictions here. Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Steeler, right? I think we're both in agreement that that's going to end up happening.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the most likely outcome. I mean, just seems like he's being a little weird and like waiting and all, but I think Rodgers will be a Steeler.
Yeah, I as much as I would love it for the memes, I don't buy into the Rodgers to Minnesota stuff. Just it's never really felt realistic. I want it to be, but it shouldn't happen. And Minnesota's a smart organization.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that either. Um, you never know
Yeah,
though.
it's kind of surprising that like Minnesota hasn't like told JJ McCarthy that he's the starter. I wonder what that's about. Like they're just like keeping their hands to the vest or something like that. Like
I mean, maybe
I
there
don't know.
are still internal discussions and they're waiting to see what happens, and maybe they're still leaving that door open. They wouldn't want to tell JJ that he's the starter, and then suddenly they decide, that, oh, Aaron Rodgers, we want him after all. Something changes and they want him, and then it's awkward with
I
McCarthy.
thought they had made their decision though. I guess they haven't. Like because it's like what else would they do. I'm looking at their depth chart. They literally have no one else. It's just JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, everyone else is gone. They're gonna add a
Um,
veteran at some point.
yeah, right.
Probably Joe
No, they
Flacco, I would
yeah.
imagine.
Joe Flacco, that would be decent because if JJ McCarthy's like hurt or he doesn't play well or whatever, you feel like Joe Flacco could fit into that offense and
Flacco has
play
been good
decent.
at going to teams where there's a decent chance he gets to start. I think Minnesota could be that team if
Yeah.
McCarthy is bad or if he gets injured again.
I guess Joe Flacco then could also be in the whole like Steelers/Browns discussion.
For
Imagine Joe
sure.
Flacco on the Steelers playing the Ravens twice a year, or the Browns, don't matter. But I think it's more fun on the Steelers. But
If he does that,
that
I
would
want to
be
see him in Cincinnati one year too. Complete the AFC North.
when Joe Burrow. Well, I guess we're past the storyline, but when Joe Burrow finally requests a trade, they like trade him and then like some bridge quarterback deal or something. That would be funny. But
That would be
yeah, I
hysterical. It
don't
really
think
would.
Joe Burrow.
Let the script writers
Yeah,
give us that, please.
right. Yeah, but I don't think. Oh yeah, Joe Flacco was already on the Browns anyway. Not that he couldn't return, but I kind of forgot that. So
Right.
then
Yeah,
it would
he,
just
he
be
was their playoff
Steelers.
starter.
Right. Yes, I do remember that. Their
You
lone
would.
playoff
You would
game that
remember
year.
that.
Yep. Uh-huh. So yeah, Joe Flacco is another name I didn't really like, Joe Flacco, Kirk Cousins. Um
Flacco's just kind of the last name in line here. Quarterback musical chairs.
yeah, like
Who's gonna go where? Flacco's just gonna be last in line. I mean, it's just
yeah,
how it
he'll
is.
just go wherever. Like you said, like he'll find a place where he has a decent chance of starting. Like, yeah,
He always seems to.
that's true.
I don't know what's
I mean,
gonna happen.
Joe's got to be like Joe's is he 40 yet? Yeah, he's 40. Talk about
Yeah,
someone who's
he's
actually
pretty old.
older. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Sock
know.
says he's coming to 40, by the way, like on
Oh,
Discord.
oh boy. After we've
We
exhausted
were
all our
very
topics.
worried, Sock. What's that?
All right. We wanna end right when he says hi.
That would be
No, we're not
so
mean.
messed up.
No, we won't do that to socks.
Yeah, right. No, we
That's
couldn't.
cruel.
Right.
Uh, well, we're
Well,
both in agreement on Rogers being a Steeler. Um, see, where does Kirk go? That's the next domino after Rogers, I believe, because I think he's gonna wait till after the draft and see who
right.
still needs a quarterback. But I also think even if Cleveland drafts a quarterback, they still, I mean, would they really say no to Kirk if they can get him at an affordable price?
I mean, yeah, I guess the question. Wait, does Kirk have a no trade clause?
I think he can if he has it. I don't remember if he has it, but if he does,
Yeah,
he
I think
would be
like
willing to waive it for some teams. And at that point, he can't be too picky. It's either get traded or sit on the bench in Atlanta.
yeah, he does have a no trade clause. It says he's waiting to waive it until after the draft. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
wait and see where he can go. Like maybe there's going to be a bidding
Right.
war, and he gets to choose between the two teams, and that's where the no trade clause will come into effect.
Yeah, I
I
wonder if
doubt
it's just
that.
gonna be as simple as whichever of Giants or Browns doesn't draft a quarterback. He just or not Giant. Well,
Yeah,
actually
probably
not
not the
Giants because
Giants. Yeah,
yeah, that wouldn't make sense. I forgot that they already had like all these veteran quarterbacks. But yeah, I guess like if the Browns are like who is that land starting quarterback? Michael Penix, like it or not.
I don't know how to feel about it yet.
I did. Is that
I don't know how to feel about him starting yet. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be good or not.
I did.
I have no
Yeah,
evaluation of him.
I kind of had the thought of like, what if the Falcons just with Cousins and Penix? They could even start Cousins. Like, would that be the most ridiculous thing in the world? Like,
I
Penix
mean,
didn't like
based on what they
blow me
paid him,
away.
no. I think the fan base would be really upset if they started Kirk.
No, and it would be like kind of bad for Penix's development.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it is well within their right to like the Falcons' right to keep Cousins, even if they keep him as a bench warmer, like Bryce.
What
I
is
would
that
probably
in?
take Bryce over Penix. Yeah, what does that comment mean exactly?
Yeah,
What
because
is that
Bryce is
insinuation?
actually good, so he
Right.
he he. You know, I know people don't watch the Panthers, but he was objectively a very good quarterback at the second half of the season last year.
No, yeah, he played well. Like he actually was impressive. Like with the games I watched, like he had some good games against Tampa. Um, so
He had some good game-winning drives, or should have been game-winning drives. I still remember that Philadelphia game. Xavier Leggett dropped a touchdown at the end. It was against Philadelphia
really
too. It was
unfortunate.
just, ugh. Drake is better than Bryce.
Drake
I'm pretty
is
sure
better than Bryce.
Bryce put up better stats last year than Drake, and they started a similar amount of games, I believe.
Right. No, I think you're right. Drake may. Um,
And the stats are similar at least, but Bryce was
yeah.
better.
Well, Drake May's QB rating was significantly higher. But also, I think Bryce had a stretch where he was just better, maybe.
Yeah,
Because he had a
I
rough
mean, we're
start.
weighing that down because of the first the first 2 or 3 games of the year for Bryce were just ridiculously bad. Even I'd given up on him already.
Drake is better. Okay, well, if that's your conviction, then, I'm happy for you, I guess, that you think that Drake May is better than Bryce.
I mean, that's probably not even a hot take. I feel like most people would say that, but that's because we're small market and no one. Well, more people than I would expect
Yeah,
realize that Bryce was good last year. But we're still working on it.
right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, everyone will everyone will remember Bryce's name when y'all are in the NFC Championship this coming season.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna
Bryce
beat the
is
Eagles
a
there, and then we're gonna
runner-up
beat the
for
Chiefs.
MVP.
Oh, sorry, we're gonna beat the
As like
Texans
trolling.
in the Super Bowl. My bad. My bad.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as long as the Chiefs don't make it, then that's fine.
No, y'all are gonna knock the Chiefs out, and you're gonna play the
There we go. That's
you're
what I
gonna play the
would do.
Steelers in the AFC Championship. You know, the Aaron Rodgers Steelers.
Oh, the Aaron Rodgers led Steelers go to the AFC
I'm telling you,
Championship.
after all this, we're gonna get the Aaron Rodgers led Steelers against the Russell Wilson led Giants in the Super Bowl. Because why not? Just the ultimate throwback Super Bowl.
Throwback Super Bowl. Yeah,
The Super Bowl
that would be
nobody
so fun.
wants, but the story would be great at least.
Plot twist: Mahomes led Chiefs versus. Well, I guess Mahomes already lost Super Bowls. That kind of ruins the narrative. But I'm saying like Mahomes led Chiefs versus Russ led Giants, and the Giants win. So Mahomes found his Eli Manning.
You imagine? I mean, I'm here for that too.
That's a
Let's
bad
have him
twist, though.
lose. No,
Yeah,
it's still
yeah,
funny
yeah.
though. It's the Giants,
Well, I
so
mean, Russell Wilson's much older, so he'd have to win like 2 Super Bowls against
let's
Patrick, which
just
is
have
probably
the
not.
same matchup 2 years in a row, and then Russ retires.
Yeah, there you go. Tell Grossi to start writing the script. Yeah, totally on it.
I trust him with the script. Tom Grossi is a great script writer for sure.
Yep.
Let's see, Sock's coming. He said 6 minutes
I
ago
don't
he's on his
know.
way, right?
I found this funny anecdote, which is that in 2023, Bryce Young led the league in yards lost due to sacks.
I believe that
Did you
our
know that?
offensive line was probably the worst in the league that year. It was really bad, man.
Yeah. Wonder how many CJ Stroud lost like last
Probably.
year.
Oh, last year.
Um, so last year CJ lost 408. The year I'm talking about, the year before with Bryce, he lost 477.
Oh, that's closer than I would have thought.
Yeah.
But Bryce is the clear winner there.
Yep.
It's a great thing to win. Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Well, we'll see what
Oh, but
happens this
another
year, though.
quarterback, another sort of quarterback domino we could talk about. We're talking about all these predictions, right? Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins, Joe Flacco, but like we gotta debate which CFL team will sign Trey Lance.
dude, I couldn't name the CFL teams, but yes, someone's gonna sign Trey Lance. Like we were saying earlier, what
Apparently,
a
it's gonna
fall
be
off
the
for the guy. It's unfortunate.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are apparently really in play.
Can we bring that team to the NFL? That is quite the name.
Yeah, right. No, we just let them in for a year. We'll relegate the Jags for a year or something. Just let them in so that Trey Lance can be a starting NFL quarterback. Stroud fell off weirdly. I think it's too early to say that Stroud fell off. He had a
Call it a
rough
sophomore
year.
slump. That's all it was, and it wasn't even his fault for the
Because
most
we
part.
still, as a team, we made the playoffs and still won a playoff game, and CJ played pretty well in that game, for what I remember. All off would be like who's fallen off, like a first round
Russell
quarterback
Wilson
who's like,
after leaving Seattle. Oh, sorry, you meant freshman
yeah, no,
quarterback.
I'm thinking of someone who like had a good start, like Mac Jones fell off because Mac Jones was like viewed as
That's
like
the perfect
the
example. Yeah.
yeah, like Mac Jones actually fell off. But CJ could fall off. I'm not ruling that out as a possibility. Like it would suck, but there's a world where he played so terribly that we have to move on. I don't think it'll happen. I think he's good enough to where he's gonna
He's way more
maintain.
talented
But
than Mac for sure. Um,
yeah, that's true. No, I don't
I
think
mean, the only
he did
problem
have
is
a
your
sophomore.
offensive line, right? It's just the bad offensive
Pretty
line.
much, yeah. Yeah, we've had to like revamp our line, and it's still not very impressive. So
Yeah, but it should
hopefully it'll be better.
be okay, I guess. If you can overcome
You
that, it'll
love
be fine.
Daniels, though. Yes, be on the lookout for Jaden Daniels' sophomore slump, though. You just
Honestly,
wait and
yes.
see.
Washington has done a great job building that team up around him, but it's one hit.
Mhm.
He's one hit away from a season-ending injury. I know everyone is, but his play style is just far more likely. I don't want that to happen.
Yes.
But
Commanders are pretty solid. I mean, yeah, based on last year, they've been pretty good. We'll
I
see.
mean, they should probably be viewed as an NFC contender. I mean, they improved the
For sure.
roster,
I mean,
so
if you make the NFC Championship and get better as a team, you definitely should be considered an NFC contender.
for sure. I wonder how much hype they're gonna get though. Like, are we gonna see people saying they're gonna win the Super Bowl, go all the way to the Super Bowl and lose, or are we gonna fade them back a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I actually feel like they haven't been as hyped as like a lot of other. Like I feel like we were maybe more hyped this
Yeah,
time
like
last
last
year
year,
than
it
like
was the Texans and the Packers with Jordan Love finishing strong. I saw a lot of people
yeah.
predicting way too early predictions Packers versus Texans in the Super Bowl. I haven't seen that with
That
Washington.
yeah, that's ridiculous. It's like it's one thing to have like one of those, like one say overreact team. That's just why I'm like hyped team, like one hype team in the Super Bowl. It's another to have like two hype teams. Like that's just not happening because
It's because
like
they were
you have the
just so
Chiefs,
similar the way it happened.
right? Exactly. Like we are going to see a Commanders. Oh shoot, who's hyped in the AFC? Like
Denver?
Commander.
Well, I mean
Sorry,
they're getting there. Denver, Bo Nix.
Denver.
They're
I
a little bit
guess I don't
hyped.
feel like they're maybe there's just not a hyped AFC team this year.
And Denver's just kind of boring, honestly.
Yeah, the North, South, West, uh, Raiders because they had Pete Carroll and they added a lot of weapons. They
I
not
don't
weapons
think
necessarily,
anyone's
but
gonna
like
hype
they
up the Geno Smith led Raiders though. Honestly, with respect to Geno, he's good, but I can't. I don't think they're gonna get hype.
yeah, it's gonna be um well, in that hypothetical Super Bowl, it's not gonna be the Commanders. It's gonna be the Bears who represent the NFC.
It's always the Bears. Oh man, I saw
Yes.
someone post. It was. I think it might have been FanDuel. They were posting their top 16 NFC teams like in order, and Chicago is up there at 5. It's like, what has Chicago done to
I
deserve this? Yeah, 5.
Chicago Bears were at 5
They
in
were
the
at 5.
NFC.
Yeah, and then you had the Vikings all the way down at like 10, as if they don't have a great roster with only one
Vikings
question
at
mark at
10.
quarterback. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So yeah, like a quarterback, Sam Darnold makes the difference between you being like the, I, don't know, I guess they weren't as good, like the top, 3 or 4 to like 10.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. I know
Wait,
Sam was
actually,
great,
this
but jeez.
NFC teams. So like, oh, this isn't really well. It's showing like both teams, which kind of like it's trying to list of NFC teams. I'm trying to
I'm gonna
see
go
like
see if I can find
generally
what I
what I
saw.
would like. Um.
I think
Okay,
most people aren't that high
Cardinals
on the Bears, but people have been pretty crazy.
5 is crazy. Yeah, that reminds me. Like I think last year, our very own ECC pointed out an article where like the Jets were the third in the AFC, like third biggest threat to the Chiefs or something like that. I think the funny thing is we were second or something.
Oh man, yeah, the Jets hype was crazy, and I mean, I thought that they would be a playoff team at least, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird.
So I'd say Commanders first for sure, better than Bears. Commanders, Buccaneers.
Oh yeah, the
This one
Buccaneers are at
Seahawks
8 in the
technically.
FanDuel way too early NFC power rankings. The Bucks are at
That's
8.
nice. Niners, Eagles, Vikings, Rams, Packers, Lions. I would say are all definitely better than the Bears. And you can make arguments like
Seattle.
Cowboys. Probably not. Cowboys are kind of suck now, but like,
Yeah,
the Panthers could be better.
I'm not even gonna
The
lie.
Falcons could
I
be.
would take the Panthers over the Bears.
I
I'm biased, but
probably. It's hard because the Bears did have a good offseason on paper, but it's not no, not worthy of like number 5 though. Like they were just like one of
they
the
need to
like
prove it on the field before we actually put them that high. I'm a believer in the
right.
Bears. I've said I believe because they got Ben Johnson, who I think is great, and I've been a Caleb Williams fan since I saw his first start in college. Actually, it wasn't his start. He came in for Spencer Rattler mid game and was
Yes.
just amazing.
Yeah, the
Um,
Oklahoma Texas game, I think. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was immediately like, yeah, I want us to tank and get this guy. That obviously didn't happen, but I believe in the
Yeah.
Bears. I think they are probably going to be a playoff team, at least a contender. But putting them at 5 in your power rankings in the NFC right now is absurd, especially if you're going to go and put the Vikings at 10. That's ridiculous.
Right.
So
Yeah.
these power
What were
rankings
like
from
do you have the list in
the
front of you? Like
yeah,
could
I
you
was about
tell
to
me
tell
who
you
like
actually.
yeah.
So it's Eagles at 1, totally fair.
Mhm.
Commanders at 2, which I think they've earned that. You can put them at 2.
Sure,
I
yeah.
don't think I would, but I get it. Lions at
I'd probably put
3.
the Lions up there, but I see what you're saying. Are Lions at 3?
Yeah, Lions are at 3. So
Okay.
I guess
That's all fair.
honoring the head-to-head result, I guess. But next year, I would
Sure.
have the Lions ahead of the Commanders, with the return of
Yeah.
Hutchinson on defense. The
Mhm.
Rams are at 4. I don't know how to feel about the
Rams
Rams.
at 4. Yeah. Rams at 4 seems high. I mean, I think they're good, and I think they should be respected in the NFC, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
They lost Cup. I
It's
guess they have Devontae now, so I guess that doesn't necessarily change. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
don't
I
know
mean
either.
that's not like
I feel like there's just a drop
outrageous,
off
but
after those big 3, and then it's just the
no,
Rams
that's
are
that's fair.
solid.
You got to put someone up. Yeah.
I probably would have put the Bucks up there. Honestly, I like the Bucks. Well, I hate the Bucks, but I think their team is really good.
No,
To catch
I think
myself
yeah,
there.
I see. I think the Bucks have potential to be like really good. Yeah.
For sure. The Bears are at 5, as we said. The Packers are right behind them at 6, which is another problem. The Packers are obviously still going to be better than the Bears, or at least as of now,
Bears,
you should be
Packers.
saying that. Yeah, they
That's
own the
actually
Bears.
outrageous. Yeah. Any Packers fan, I'll send it. If I send this to my friend who's a Packers fan, he'll go crazy. Like
Yeah, I bet. I think a lot
that's
of Packers fans in the
ridiculous.
comments were going crazy over it. The Niners are at 7,
Yeah.
which I feel like that's pretty fair.
Niners.
They've fallen off a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna see what happens there. The Bucks are at 8. I don't know what to make of
Bucks
that.
at
That feels
8.
low. A playoff team is at 8, so it's definitely too low.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Seattle's at 9. I feel like that's. I mean, they should be one
Seattle.
spot higher because I'd put them above Chicago as of now. But they're
Yeah.
a harder team to
I think
judge, you know.
Seattle would be really good, but yeah, you never know.
Vikings are at 10. We've already brought that up.
That
Ridiculous.
that's outrageous. Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas is right behind them at 11. And then
Dallas. Okay.
Arizona at 12, Atlanta at 13, Carolina at 14. The Saints are at 15. They're too high. and the Giants are 16.
Giants at 16.
That's probably fair.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Russell Wilson, have fun winning 3 games.
Yeah, honestly, okay, they're probably gonna win closer to 6 if we're looking at everything. I think they've quietly built a decent roster overall. They're trending up at least. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Trending up. I guess it depends on if they can get Shador or not. Because if they don't get Shador, then like they're
Yeah,
kind of
long
bleak.
term they're not trending up. Just this season
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
gonna be better.
I got you. Yeah, for
So we'll
sure.
have to wait and see on that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think Chicago's going to be in the playoff hunt at least. So it's just absurd to put them at 5 right now when we've seen nothing. And we've seen this story before each of the past 2 years. They're hyped up in the offseason. They win 5 games. They draft high in the draft, win the offseason again, and rinse and repeat. It's the same thing. Sort of like Dallas every year.
Yep.
They have the same cycle every year too. This is our year. Start off strong, fall apart fast. Last year, I think they
Right.
skipped the start off strong part.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that kind of bled over. Like they're not really that like I don't hear any Cowboys fans saying this is our year this year. Like it feels like they kind of like hit rock bottom.
And yeah, I think they've
So,
kind of gotten there at this point.
for the Patriots drafting, we did talk about that earlier. Probably just either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, whoever's available.
I've got a
Hola,
different
what's
take on
up?
that. That's the mainstream take, and it's probably the likely take as well. uh, I think they're probably
Yeah.
going to draft the best offensive tackle available. I'm guessing Will Campbell from LSU. That just feels like the Patriots thing to do,
Mm,
and they need a tackle. So that's my guess. I could be wrong. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's fair enough.
Nobody really knows
Yeah.
with the draft.
Nobody really knows, but Patriots have a very interesting pick at 4 because they can pretty much take the second best non quarterback if they want. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they can't really mess up this pick. You would think whoever they pick is likely to be a good pick.
Yes, that does seem like a likely outcome.
So my guess for the draft is we're gonna have the Titans take Cam Ward at 1, and I'm gonna say the Browns take Abdul Carter. I'm gonna buy into that, and they end up with Kirk Cousins, and I'm gonna say the Giants get Shador, and then the Patriots. I'm giving them a tackle, and then who's at 5? The Jags. I guess they get Travis
I think so.
Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, at
Travis
some point,
Hunter, welcome to the AFC South.
I could see that and go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are taking Genty at 6. If they don't, someone else will, and they need a running back. They haven't made any moves in free agency, so that's my guess. 7. The
Yeah.
Jets. Who has any clue what the Jets are gonna do? Honestly,
Jackson Dart.
I hope so. I am here for that. Let's all make fun of the Jets, everybody.
Right, that would be funny.
Yeah, 8 is where I don't know what's happening. I have no guess for what Carolina's gonna do. I've seen so many different ideas that they're playing this game, smoke screens. We might not even make the pick. We might be trading. I have no idea.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it seems like you just don't know. I feel like Carolina, you just like take whoever's there, I guess. Like
We are kind of set up to take the best player available if we want. I'm hoping that somehow Abdul Carter falls to us because that's who we. If he falls to us, we run to the podium and make that pick. We need help there at that position. But if he's not there, I don't think there's anyone else who's really the clear selection at 8 at the edge position.
right.
And I don't think we want to take T Mac. I think he's. I don't think he fits our offense. Actually,
Yeah.
I've been looking into that. We need a speedster, if anything. We've got our slot guy. We got our X
Imagine not
receiver.
winning the Super Bowl since Namath, lol. Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Pats draft. I would love to see that. Let the Patriots draft Genty at 4. The Raiders would be so mad if they're planning to take him, as the reports indicate.
Right. Yeah.
that would be a move that people make fun of them for, but it actually makes a decent amount of sense if you think Genty is that good.
Yeah. I mean, I do. Yeah, I was joking there, but I think he'd be a little bit of a reach at 4.
I mean, if he's gonna go at 6 to the Raiders, which maybe he doesn't, but that's my guess. That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, I don't know if he will go 6. As when did B John go? Was B John like a top 10 pick?
He, I think he was
He was
either that or right
8th or
outside the top 10.
9th. He was 8th.
Okay,
So I guess there is precedent. I've heard concerns that B John's like not B John, that Ashton's like short or something like that, like a little smaller, and that he played some like weaker schools. So I don't know.
honestly, I've not heard anything negative. It's other than the level of competition he faced, but like he was. I mean, you can watch the film; he looked ridiculous against them. I don't know how to judge the running back film
Yeah,
though, so I got nothing.
I
I'm
got
just going
you.
with what I've heard.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I kind of am too. Like, yeah, I think like it could be like I don't know that he'll go to the Raiders. Like, I guess they do need a running back. Like, do they have anyone on their roster?
They have somebody, a backup level.
Yeah,
Oh, Raheem
I mean,
Mostert.
yeah, they
They got
have
Mostert, didn't they?
Raheem Mostert. Yes, the 2019 NFC Championship hero.
That's right. Ran all over the Packers. Yeah, I mean
Uh huh.
he's good, but I don't. I think you still want to
Nah, but
upgrade.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I probably agree with that.
Genty Mostert running back room. I like that if they can pull that off. But they've got quite an offense if they with those weapons. I would say.
Yes.
I don't know though. We'll see what
What
happens.
if what if Genty goes to Chicago?
I've seen a
Then
fair
that would
number
be
of Chicago fans who want him actually.
that kind of be the cherry on top of their off-season championship, off-season Super Bowl parade.
Oh man, they would get praised for that for sure. That I think
Right.
that he won't fall past Chicago because I think that's a Ben Johnson type of pick. Like he wanted Jameer Gibbs when they had signed David Montgomery, and people made fun of that, and then that worked out amazingly. I could absolutely see that happening here in Chicago if he's still there.
Right. Do you want Godwin socks? I'm sure the Pats would have loved Godwin, but it didn't work out. Isaac, what do you think
Unfortunately,
about this? We trade back to y'all for a second and a fourth.
um, so we swap picks, right? We swap
So
picks.
yeah,
We give y'all a
Carolina
second and a
to
fourth.
so Carolina goes from 8 to 4, and then y'all give a second and a fourth.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I mean, do you need Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter? Like,
we
I don't
don't
know
need
if you
Travis.
need.
We don't. I don't really want
Yeah,
Travis. If he falls to us, yes, I want him at pick 8. I'm not trading up for Travis. Abdul
just
is
a
a
value
different
thing.
case
Yeah,
though. He's the clear best pass rusher in the draft, and we need a pass rusher. So I would. I wouldn't. I don't think
right.
I'd give up that much for him because we are. If we give up our second rounder, like we're picking at 4, and then we don't pick again until the third round, and I don't. I don't know if we want to do that. Maybe I haven't. I don't know. I would consider it. I'd probably
Well,
try to talk
Sox,
you
the
down on
real
that
question,
price.
Sox, what would the price be for Houston to trade from 25 to 4?
Have to offer a little bit more.
Hypothetically, if like pick up the phone, what would it take, Sox? GM Sox? It would take a lot more than it's worth. Like I know it's not a real thing, but
Oh yeah, but it's a fun hypothetical.
it's something like yeah, Nick Casario just giving his former bosses a call. Like yeah, 25 to 4 is probably multiple first round picks. Like our three
3 first
first,
and a
two
second.
second. I mean that's
2 seconds.
I guess the three first does include the one we're trading, so it's really just like 2 firsts and 2 seconds. But yeah, like
You
our
don't
first
even want to
next
give
year, the
up
year after.
one more first than the yeah. You don't want to give up 2 total. I mean,
Right. It's just not something. Yeah, it's not like it would kind of make sense if you're in the market for a quarterback and you can trade up and 100. So we just give you 100 million and like a brown bag and salary cap. Like, sure, yeah, right.
Yeah, I think I would decline that
Uh,
trade, Sox. I've decided I would decline that trade. I would negotiate, but I would decline it because I think we have better paths to take instead of giving up more draft capital. You guys can
yeah, it
take
just
whoever you
feels
want
like
for.
four is kind of a hollow spot to trade up for if you're not going after like a quarterback or
Pretty
some
much.
generational like player. Is Abdul Carter considered generational? Or is he just really good?
I've seen some people reach for that. Some people are trying to claim that he is. I don't think he actually is though. I don't think he was even considered one of the top picks in the draft until after the college football playoff games. I was seeing a lot of drafts where he was outside the top 10, and then suddenly, oh, he's in the top 3. Which I think he belongs up there. He's the best pass rusher. I agree with that, but I don't think he's
Yeah.
generational. I don't think he's someone we need to
I
give
feel
everything up for.
like Will Anderson was a better prospect. If I'm not mistaken.
Probably, I would think.
I feel like he got like more hype. Not like more like just more over like well overall like well balanced hype. Like he was always like the best defensive player. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Abdul Carter's way better, but and I mean, if Abdul Carter becomes Will Anderson, like that's he's gonna have a solid career. But
Yeah, that's
seems
if you
like
can guarantee me he's going to be Will Anderson, I'll make the trade and go get him. I'll do that.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, the story's
it's
not written for
always
Will Anderson. Obviously, he could be
right.
like a 2 year wonder and then just be bad. But it seems like he'll be a pretty good player for years to come.
It definitely
Hutchinson.
seems that
I
way.
don't know if he's quite Hutchinson. That seems like a stretch, but we'll see. I found a Micah Parsons rookie hollow halo in my closet. Nice, good for you, man. That's gotta be valuable, right?
I have no idea. um, I
I
don't
think
know.
the understanding is that like rookie. Well, I don't know what a rookie halo is. Like an angel halo? Like what are you talking about? But I know, like
Yeah,
rookie
that's
cards,
a
they
new
can like
term. I don't know what that means.
I know like rookie cards they can be like valuable like if you like get someone who's good or if you get like a rookie card and that player becomes good, like apparently it can be really valuable.
It's
I know I have
it's
a
weird.
little brother. My little brother does like rookie cards and stuff. I've actually considered that. Like almost kind of like treating it as like stocks, just like
That's basically what
just
it
getting
is.
rookie cards. Yeah, it's getting rookie cards before they become like, like they before they explode, and then like getting that ROI, that return on investment.
Pretty
Like
much.
Halo. What what's a Halo? Because the only Halo I know is like what an angel wears. I think it's a Halo. I see a video game result. What is a Halo? What is a rookie Halo? Let's try that.
Still have
I
no
don't
idea what
know.
he's talking about.
Yeah, a Halo is like angels, like, or that's presumably that's the thing, like in the like drawings or paintings or whatever. That's like that's it. But I don't think Sox found a rookie Micah Parsons Halo. That makes zero sense.
We're missing something, I'm sure.
Halo graphic. Okay, Halo graphic. Okay. Oh, is it like a digital card? Like a digital card? Okay, I can get behind that.
We'll go with
It's a
that
card
for
thing.
sure.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Why not? We're chilling.
I guess Q&A. Q&A time. Y'all have any
Football
questions
Q and
for
A.
Isaac and I? Preferably football, but if it's non-football, we might field it. Never know.
It depends. We'll see.
Yep. It's in my room. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that the Halo is in your room. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely am I to get a GF? Do you want to take that, or do you want me to take it?
I want nothing to
Or
do with that. How do we answer that?
okay, I have an answer. I'm assuming by GF you mean gluten free, which it seems weird to like just word it like that. How likely am I to get a GF? I guess how likely am I to like become gluten free, which like I don't know, it's pretty trendy these days. I might say like 4 or 5 out of 10, assuming you're not already. You could try that diet out. I mean, are you? You're not gluten free, or are you gluten free, Isaac?
I'm not. I got family who are gluten free, but
Yeah,
I'm not.
I have a brother who is. Yeah, it's not like celiac, but I think like just yeah, that's like a negative. Like I think it used to be like his toes would like crack or something like that. Like the skin
Oh
would
dang.
crack or something. Like when he had gluten, so obviously he couldn't do it.
Is
I
that what
can't,
Socks was
Daniel.
meaning? I need
Hey,
Socks to specify that that's what he meant. Gluten
I
free.
think I tried gluten free for like a minute, but then I was like, no.
Yeah, I like gluten. So
Yeah, it's pretty hard. You have to get like special flour, and it's just like when you bake something that's gluten free, it's like hit or miss. I don't know. Maybe nowadays it's better
yeah,
since it's
if you
like pretty.
buy oh no, if you buy store bought products too, it's much more expensive than the actual products with
Right.
gluten.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's gluten free, like keto, all that stuff. It costs a pretty penny. Yep. We don't need to
I'm
specify
pretty
what he
sure
means. No,
I have a guess what he meant. I was kind of dying
yeah,
when you
I
were
I
saying
get what
gluten
he meant
free.
too. No, I mean it's obviously gluten free, right? I mean that's the only application
I thought he
that
was
you can
saying
think
good
of.
friends. He wanted to know how likely he is to get a good friend.
Oh, good friends. Okay, that
Yeah,
can make sense. I mean, I put that pretty high. I think he
because
seems like a
that's
pretty
more rare than having being gluten free. So
right. No, having good friends is tough. Like we're like chess nerds talking about football. Like we don't really have friends. I feel like Socks, like he has his like rowing competitions. You're so involved with the chess club, right? I feel like you have to have good friends. Like I'd put that at, like 9 out of 10.
yeah, Socks, we'll give you an 9 out of 10 for that. Good job.
Yep. Um, we don't need to specify what he means. Socks, you're probably at a 6, I bet. A 6?
Man,
Well, if
that's
you're talking about
mean.
gluten
That's
free,
low.
that's gluten free would actually be pretty high. I'm at like a 2. Isaac's at -6. -6. Okay. We're talking about gluten free, right? To be clear, or are we talking about good friend? I don't even think we specified that.
I have no idea what these guys are talking about. Um, but this whole thing is really
I
funny. I'll
know
say
2
that.
-6 6. What am I? We haven't gotten my 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 scale.
Oh, he's talking. Oh, no one said girlfriend, Devin. I don't know where that word came
Girlfriend.
from.
So like, okay, so like female friend. I mean, that's
What is
very
that?
reasonable.
Is that even a thing?
I mean, I guess it depends on who you are. I don't know, but I mean, I know like I have female friends. Like, didn't you have a GF? Weren't you gluten free, Isaac? Or wait, who are you
Oh,
talking to?
I thought he
He's
was
talking
talking
to
to you.
Socks. Oh, I don't know
I
why
have
he
no
would
idea.
be
They're
talking.
being they're being
Well,
really unclear with us.
Devin, you have to like say because we don't know if you're talking to Socks or Isaac or me. Probably not me. I have that best friend Riz. What does Riz mean? I can't keep up with the lingo.
It
I
is a
meant
lot to
good
keep up
friend.
with.
Yeah, okay, Isaac, you were right. He meant good friend.
Wow,
Like
I'm on it. So smart.
this is girlfriend nonsense. Like
I'm
I
pretty
can't
sure that's
believe that was
not even a word. Like nobody says that.
right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's I don't even think it's in the dictionary if you look. If you look
Oh, it's not. I've looked, of course.
right. I mean, the individual words like girl and friend are, but I don't think. those
Yeah, you
words
can't just push
combined
those
are
words together. That doesn't make any sense.
right. It's not like, even like Carolina Panthers, like you can't push Carolina Panthers as like one word. Like
No,
it's
that's just
ridiculous.
absurd. Who would even do that? That's ridiculous.
Right. I like Yo Snot. Okay, do y'all have any other questions? Maybe some football questions for a change.
Yeah, we want to stop talking about Socks and his good friends.
Right. Or, or a gluten-free diet, which I guess that's, y'all suck at gaslighting. Gaslighting what? Sigma's in the dictionary website. Okay, Sigma can be a word. It's fine. I mean, Sigma's like it's like Greek or something. I think. I think it's actually a word. Like not even in the meme context.
What do you think about
Think
Stefan?
about
Yeah, we actually we talked about that earlier at the start. I really like the move. It's gonna help Drake May a lot, hopefully. So good move. Seemed like a fair deal.
yeah. I tend to agree with that. I did think it was a little bit weird just with the culture. But also it's important to remember that we're past the Bill Belichick era and we are in the Mike Vrabel era. So yeah, your mom is
Yeah,
Greek.
things that wouldn't have happened under Belichick are now possible under Vrabel.
Exactly. Right. Because it is easy to forget. Mike Vrabel was technically not a part of the Bill Belichick coaching tree. He never coached for Bill Belichick. He played for Bill Belichick, but his coaching sort of contemporaries were like Urban Meyer and Bill O'Brien. So take that for what you will, I
It is a
guess.
good distinction considering how many failed coaches there are in Belichick's coaching tree and how they all tried to
Isaac,
copy
what's
the
your favorite?
Patriot way. Oh,
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about Zion, your best friend?
it's that he's completely made up and not real.
Yeah, I should have an imaginary friend. I should just do that. I think that would help my mental health.
I mean, it
I
makes
like the
life
place in
easier for
Utah.
sure.
Right. Yeah, they're readily accessible.
I mean, all it takes is just thinking one up, so you can have an endless supply if you need.
True. An endless supply of friends. Imagine.
Yeah, Socks, we have your
Right.
solution here if you want good friends.
Dare I say good friends? Yeah, that's what we're saying. I mean, if you think of it like that, his chances are 10 out of 10, literally, because he
Man,
can just
we've brought
make
this
one
full
up and fine.
circle. Bravo to us. We've done a good job with this.
Yep.
All right, are there any other legitimate questions here?
Legitimate questions. We were waiting, like the suspense.
Yeah,
And then there's gonna
suspense
be a
is
chat
just
message that says something
remarkable
wild.
here. Hmm. It's quiet. Nope. Okay, nothing from
Oh.
Devon.
Uh, yeah, if it's not asking about good friends, then is
That's a good question.
Jameis the most funny NFL player? Probably, yeah. I mean, famous NFL player, like he's definitely up there.
Yeah, he's. I don't know if he's the most funny, but he's very much well liked. And he's.
Yeah, I think as
Yeah.
far as because you never know, there could be some undrafted free agent who's like a comedian on the side or something like that. But as far as just you know, recognition and things like that, he's probably up there for sure.
I mean, every time you see him in some kind of interview or a clip, it's hysterical, right? But what else is there to
Was
it?
this episode a Tasty W?
Jameis Winston reference.
Yeah, classic Jameis Winston reference. The horses prepare for battle, Isaac. Did you know that?
Oh man, that was one of the best things that happened last season. Him becoming a starter. doing the interviews.
Yeah, I think we should, use that, before we go live, we should just
That's what we
cite
should
that.
say instead of our
Before,
welcome to football for fun. We should just say that instead. That'd be a great
yeah, the
intro.
horses prepare for battle, but victory comes from the Lord, or something like that. I think that was the quote.
Yeah, we should absolutely. I mean, that's a great quote. Like, unironically, that's a great quote. We should use that.
Actually is. Yeah. Because, you never know with an episode of Football for Fun. You could compare it to war with all the, topics we have to cover, the difficulties we have to navigate, the chat messages we have to endure. That's actually decent compared. That actually wouldn't be a bad usage.
It's
You
also
make a
just really funny.
W
So
beignet?
there's no way that's how you spell that. I'm gonna go with no. I cannot make a W beignet.
Beignet. What's a beignet?
Let's see. I think it's French. French dessert, maybe.
Oh, is it okay, that makes sense. A good friend avoiding. Okay. It's a regular Vietnam. Hmm.
Um,
Cool.
well, I just searched up beignet. The way he typed it, and I got what I was expecting. It was a French pastry.
Beignet. Okay.
I'm glad I wasn't just
Beignet.
completely wrong about that. That
Oh,
would have been unfortunate.
beignet. Yeah. BIG. Oh,
It would have been
yeah.
way funnier
Yeah.
socks if you had tried to actually spell that out in the chat instead of creating a new word.
Right.
Just try to spell it out. It would have been funnier.
How is this harder than war? Yeah. Right.
It definitely is. Yeah. I don't. Did we say it was harder than war,
Sure.
or did we just compare it to war?
I think just comparable to where you could justify a speech such as, the horses prepare for battle. Although, I mean, that when they say it, it's for a football game, which, is
It also doesn't compare
I'm not
to
even
war.
comparing that to war. Right. Yeah.
But I mean, we go through a lot to do this. Like, we put ourselves out there on YouTube to be viewed by, a small handful of people. Like, we have to be seen by people and heard by people, and anything we say could be
Sure.
clipped and go viral for all the wrong reasons. So, obviously we are at great risk here at Football for Fun. We do this for you guys, though.
Daniel, you could definitely survive the Norman conquest. I guess that's good. I mean, I guess I'd rather survive than not survive. You look French enough. Norman conquest, yeah.
You look French enough. I'm gonna choose to let you take
French
that as a
enough.
compliment. You're
Really
gonna take
look
that as a
French.
compliment.
I wonder what characteristics I have to look French. Am
I
I
have no
the
idea.
president? And I'm the president of the Ugly Club. Does that mean I'm the king of the Ugly Club? Can we make that
Does that make me the
accommodation?
founder? Let's all get in on this.
Oh, if you're the founder, I'm a board member for the Ugly Club.
Oh, there you go. Man, this is great.
Yeah,
I'm glad we have
that
some
works.
established lore to the Ugly Club now.
Yep. The president, founder, board member. Perfect.
I mean, what more do you need at that point?
Oh, Isaac is the founder.
I knew
President. What am I? Board member, right?
it. Isaac left us. No, guys, I'm still in the Ugly Club. Don't worry.
Isaac left us now. Vice president? No, I want to be a board member.
Yeah,
Or
you deserve better than that.
I think like CEO or something like that. I'll be CEO of the.
There we go.
The Ugly.
As founder,
Yeah,
I
I like
approve that.
But I guess founders normally is CEO. So that actually.
No, you can be CEO.
Well, founder,
I'm just the
president.
founder with no
That
responsibility.
works.
I'm
Yeah,
just the
that's
founder.
fine. We could do that. Yeah.
That's all I am.
VP.
I just found it.
Yeah. Nah. Okay. Whatever. I'll be vice president. Yeah.
At least you're in
Sure.
the club. That's all that really matters.
That's true. Yeah, I'm in the club. I have authority. Like that. That's chill.
That's all you really need.
I
Be
like
in the
cheese.
club, have authority.
I can tell. Right.
All right, last call for real questions here.
Yeah. Last call for real questions.
Give them a second. See if
Mm,
they come up with anything.
yes. You
BRB.
could probably ERB. Well, I don't know. You need Devin to clutch up with some good questions. If you will, BRB. You could go to Chat GPT and generate some questions.
Ah, jeez. Oh, I love awkward silence. Hey, look, this isn't our
I
fault,
am
okay? We're giving you guys a chance to
experienced
ask us
awkward
questions.
silence in a football podcast and need some questions about current NFL events and rumors. Generate some. All right, let's see what ChatGPT says.
It'll be interesting. When am I going to be in the
Um,
podcast? You're not going to. No. Just no. Stop. Please, no. You should be a
um,
special guest. Special. Special. Yep. It's one word for it.
wait, ChatGPT is so out of date because one of the questions slash like topics it says Christian McCaffrey's potential trade. Following the firing of head coach Matt Rule, there are rumors that the Carolina Panthers might trade Christian McCaffrey as part of a rebuild. Which teams will be interested in McCaffrey? How would this departure affect the Panthers?
Well, that is very outdated by a couple of years. 'Cause we already traded
Yes.
McCaffrey.
When I saw Matt Rule, I was like, yeah, this is outdated. Matt Rule has not been relevant in the league for like
Thank
several years.
goodness. Gosh.
Um, the thing is, the other questions are actually kind of up to date. Why is there a Chiefs Ravens draft pick swap like rumors? Like, what? Why is that even a thing?
I have no idea what that would be about.
Random Arrowhead Pride is referencing that Brandon Ayuk, but it's Brandon Ayuk. Even ChatGPT doesn't
Wow.
understand. It has
That's
like
just sad.
AI
ChatGPT should
hallucinations.
know.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes like AI has like hallucinations and stuff when it'll like say stuff that's not true or forget something. That's like a you know, that's an egregious example.
I quite agree.
Ayuk,
Brandon
yes.
Ayum, starting wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. That's his name with an
Uh,
M at the end. Ayum.
just send me the Discord call and I will be here. uh, I don't know.
No.
I mean, there will be a period when Isaac won't be available to do football for fun, so it'll all be me. I might be forced to bring on guests if I don't have a co-host and it's the off season. We have nothing to talk about.
Oh, Sox is back. So we stalled just long enough
Oh, good.
for him to
With
return with the
Chat
question
GPT,
that he went to get.
it took us making fun of Chat GPT being outdated for him to actually be right back. You know, before we like just stop the
Okay,
podcast.
now we know for next time, right?
Daniel, I'll do it. Yeah, Sox, I'll consider it.
No,
Hit
Devin.
me up for real.
No, Devin.
We can like they say when the cat's away the mice play. Like when Isaac leaves, I'll consider it. I'll consider having it on.
I see how it
Debbie
is.
and Danny. How about no? Let's not do that.
If anything, it would be
Um,
Danny and Devi. That sounds better.
yeah, I think so.
Yes,
Is
Devin
Devin
is.
really real?
Well,
I think yeah, Devin is really real.
I think he is. Otherwise, who sent you that shirt?
I know. Yeah, who would have sent me that shirt? That would be
Is,
mysterious if he wasn't
is
real.
Drake May a good chess player? Um,
Probably not.
I have
Odds
no
are.
idea. I have no idea if the guy even plays.
Does Drake May play chess? I mean, we'll see if there's anything.
worth a shot. There are some
Um,
chess players in the NFL, so it's entirely possible he's picked it up at some point.
yeah, I think the only thing is like the biggest hurdle for playing May early. May can rearrange the chessboard pre-snap. Yeah, the only reference is like a reference like
Yeah, of
May
course.
rearranging the chess, like it's like a like audible or something like that. But yeah,
That figures. I don't know that anyone in that on that team plays for sure. So if you were asking about a Cincinnati player, I might go, yeah, probably. I think Joe Burrow reportedly plays.
that this actually would be an interesting chat GPT prompt. Which NFL player slash personality matchup do you think would be an interesting chess game? Why and who do you think will win? Um,
Sox, I
let's see
don't
what it says.
think so because that's just not really how team chess works. If they have someone
But
who
every
is
NFL
my
player,
strength or better, then yes, I think so. But that's not really
yeah,
how chess
that's yeah.
works.
Unless their resources includes like stockfish,
Yeah,
but
if I'm facing Stockfish, I'm gonna lose.
I mean, they'd have some like Spygate type stuff where like one of the practice squad guys like has stockfish and they like play a game of telephone to like relay the move. Like I guess even then I feel like that would get messed up somewhere. Like it'd get lost in translation.
It's very possible. I mean, there are better ways to cheat if you're gonna cheat. Just keep it simple because I'm not gonna be looking to see if you're cheating. Vote chess is basically what
Yeah,
you're playing at that point.
right.
I have thoughts on vote chess, but I think that should be saved for something else entirely because this is a football stream.
Talk about vote chess.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what he's describing. Like all the NFL players against me, it's vote chess basically.
Yeah, I know like Anand versus the World happened and the World got destroyed. Now like I think Magnus versus the World is gonna happen.
And the world
Um,
is gonna get destroyed again. I thought about joining that, and I was like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's just like in the 90s it was cool when there were not computers, like the top GMs would actually like work together and they'd come up with the moves, but like nowadays it's just like eh.
Yeah, and people are so bad at working together in vote chess that it's just kind of pointless. Either one of two things happens: either the strongest player suggests the moves, and then you just go with that, or you try to work
Follow
together,
suit,
and
yeah.
then you make a mistake that way because enough people agree on a bad move, and then there you go, you're lost.
Yeah, right.
But, all right,
I
so
was
what are we
looking
doing
I,
now?
I like I had the classic like like the classic like sunglasses meme where or I guess it could be glasses, but it's where it's like where are my glasses? But
Oh yeah.
you're like wearing I had that with my phone. I was like, where'd my phone go? I realized it's right there. I'm using it for chat.
That's funny.
I was like, I haven't seen my phone in a while.
Yeah, it's just chilling there. GeoGuessr's but no,
GeoGuessr is
it's
better
not.
than chess.
It's not. Oh, that's
Oh
a good
yeah, by the
question.
way, I know this is a football podcast, but congratulations on getting 2150. I didn't realize you were like
Oh,
doing so well in tournaments now.
oh well, thank you kindly. Yeah, I had a good event recently, so I guess a month ago now. It feels recent, but thank you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, that's when's the next chess stream? I don't know. It's just whenever I get like time and motivation to like do chess streams, I'll try to do that. But football for fun comes first. So, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
As a chess player, football is way more fun to talk about. It just is.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Then chess, it's like there's Hans Niemann and Magnus Carlsen, and then just like a bunch of technical like chess stuff, like openings and stuff. But like the football, there's always drama.
Pretty much, yeah. Even in the off season,
Isaac actually not washed anymore. No, I don't think he was ever washed. I think he just had a slump, and then like we're back.
I
We're on like
rebounded.
Donkey Kong.
There we
Yeah,
go.
sure, rebound.
Bounce back.
Yep.
right. Uh, we,
Yeah, I think they're starting to opt to talk about things not football, chess,
yeah,
geo, wizard, whatever.
yeah. We're just running out of things to discuss. So we keep running into this awkward silence. You guys are doing this to us. All right, this isn't on us, okay? Oh, we ran out of topics
Yeah,
about an hour ago, so probably not that long ago, but still.
right.
All right, all right. You want to call
All
it
right.
here?
Let's call it quits. Yep.
We had a good run, especially
Yep.
considering we had two topics. We squeezed an hour and a half out of that, a little more than that actually.
That's true. Yeah.
Calling this
I think
success,
overall it was like
success.
almost 2 hours at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, if
we're
you
at an
count all
hour
like
40 right now.
I cannot with these 400s. Okay, fine. Yeah, well, thank you all so much for catching this episode of Football for Fun. Hopefully, there will be more news next week to talk about. But if not, we will likely have a mock draft next week of some sort. So stay tuned if you are into that.
Oh man, we are absolutely doing a mock draft at some point. I don't know when, but we got to do it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what's the point of having a football podcast if you can't do mock drafts and have fun with it and predictions?
Exactly. And looking further ahead, I would love to do a live stream during the draft as well. I think we talked about that a couple years ago, and I don't think it worked out. We just did a voice chat, but I think that at least one of us, if you can't
Yeah,
make it, I could still do it. If you can make it, that would be way better. So
yes, because I remember that a couple of years ago because that was like it was actually one. I actually went to my family's house because it was like because we were drafting like number 2 overall, and it turns out number 3 as well. So I
yeah, that
just
was a
kind of
big
treated it
draft.
as like a football game, like kind of like a football game, just like with family, like kind of a celebration. But
Yeah,
now it's like we're picking what like 20 whatever. Like I'm probably not gonna like. I mean, if they invite me over, it might be hard to say no, but it's also like it's not really that. I kind of doubt they'll make it.
no, no, I get what you
Have
mean
a celebration
completely.
fifth overall. I don't think there's gonna be some big family celebration over who we draft 25th overall. Like, because we wouldn't be picking until like a lot later anyway. So I'm sure I'll be available for a potential draft episode.
And I assume that I will as well, but just looking further down the line, that would be fun to do if we can make that happen. So just letting you guys know, draft night, we will probably be here.
I can pick up where you leave off. Well, okay, we can discuss that maybe. Devin take over. I don't think anyone's taking over. I think, you know, when Isaac leaves, we'll just have a few episodes where I might have a guest come on, talk about
Yeah, I
your
mean, guys,
team
I'm
and
I'm
then,
coming back. I promise.
yeah. No, it's just temporary. Yeah. He'll be back.
No takeovers.
All right, well, thank you all for watching and we will catch you all next week, probably about the same time on Wednesday, I would imagine.
Heck yeah. Plan for the same thing next week, hopefully with more topics, and if not, you can look forward to a mock draft. So thank you all for showing up and hanging out with us. We will see you all next time. Good night.